The hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening, Kevin Smith here, and welcome to your nightly newscast on Kaieteur Radio. Let's get to the news in detail. Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire has ordered the Guyana Revenue Authority and the Guyana Energy Agency to release 631,184.9 liters of fuel seized from Atlantic Fuel Inc., or AFI, a company whose director is Dr. Richard Van West Charles, former head of GWI. Van West Charles' company had sued the Commissioner General of GRA, Godfrey Stacia. GRA, the executive officer of the GEA, Mahinder Sharma, and the GEA on 22nd of December 2020. The lawsuit was instituted on behalf of AFI by attorneys Sian Dujan and Damien De Silva. Stacia and Sharma had seized and detained the diesel fuel worth over $80 million in resale value, which was imported by AFI and seized by GRA on November 1st, 2020. In an attempt to defend the seizure, lawyers Judy Stewart Adonis and Colin Sparman Stevens, who represented GRA and the GEA respectively, presented to the court an alleged false invoice used by AFI to import fuel, which they claimed gave the GEA and GRA wrong information on the supplier, value, and quantity of the fuel. Meanwhile, despite flaring more gas than it ever has offshore Guyana, ExxonMobil is singing itself praises for the work it has done to reduce flaring worldwide. ExxonMobil's chairman of the board and CEO Darren Woods said that ExxonMobil's plan is to reduce emissions from operating assets and align the company with the World Bank's Zero Routine Flaring by 2030 initiative. That ExxonMobil claims to have met its flaring reduction targets in 2020 rubs Guyana differently than it does the rest of the world. Though its global flaring levels have purportedly decreased, ExxonMobil has flared gas offshore Guyana nearly all year long. It flared over 12 billion cubic feet of gas from the Liza Destiny oil vessel. This was due to an equipment malfunction, the company claimed. And now let's tell you, ExxonMobil announced that it suffered a $20 billion loss during the fourth quarter of 2020, along with revelations that it has launched a new company to spearhead its solutions on emissions reductions. Following this, unimpressed shareholders were quick to register their frustration and discontent. Specifically, making its dissatisfaction known was Engine Number One, a new investment firm. Engine Number One said that a board that has underperformed this dramatically and defied shareholder sentiment for this long has not earned the right to choose its own new in the face of calls for change. And coming from Energy Voice, a Nigerian court has approved an arrest warrant for ExxonMobil's managing director in Nigeria, Richard Ling. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, in a statement, said the Federal High Court in Abuja had approved an application for a bench warrant. This allows the Commission to arrest Ling. Justice Oking Abang granted the Commission request on January 29th. Ling had rejected an invitation to come and talk to the agency 3 times, the Commission said, leading it to seek a warrant. The Commission said it was investigating alleged procurement fraud. The agency went on to say that fraudulent change orders of more than $213 million had been created. In other news, it is time for an independent investigation to be conducted into ExxonMobil's claims and its gas compressor has malfunctioned. This is according to environmental engineering expert Dr. Vincent Adams. His assertion comes days after Exxon's subsidiary Esso announced that the gas compressor on the Liza Destiny oil suffered yet another malfunction after purportedly being fixed in December last year. That malfunction will now lead to millions of toxic natural gas being flared as a necessary step to maintain safety operations on the vessel, Exxon said. In other news, Attorney General and the Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal is seeking the High Court to decline the request of APNU-AFC parliamentarian David Patterson to find the budget allocations for constitutional agencies by the National Assembly on September 1st, 2020 were done contrary to Section 80B2 of the Fiscal Management and Accountability Act. In an affidavit response to Patterson's claim, Nandlal argued to refuse the orders and declarations being sought by Patterson since it would serve no useful purpose. The Attorney General contends that failure to circulate the budget proposals for 23 constitutional agencies is justified by the doctrine of necessity. And now let's tell you, a reward of $50,000 cash will be given to anyone with valuable information leading to the capture of 46-year-old Edward Isaac of Hill and School Streets, Alboystown, Georgetown. Isaac is wanted by the police for entering the premises of a Nundy Park resident on Tuesday and carting off a number of valuable items. He was reportedly seen committing the act by neighbors. They gave chase, but he managed to escape, damaging a parked vehicle in the process. Anyone with knowledge of his whereabouts can contact Kaieteur News publisher Glenn Lal on 624-6456 or the nearest police station. And moving on, the public awaits a meaningful update from ExxonMobil on the continuous pollution of the atmosphere via flaring at its operations. 6 days ago, ExxonMobil's local subsidiary Esso announced that there was a technical issue on the Eliza Phase 1 producing operation. The report regarded an issue with a seal on the gas compressor on the Eliza Destiny oil vessel. Calling the incident unfortunate, ExxonMobil said that it had to temporarily increase flaring above pilot levels in order to maintain safe operations. And that brings us to the end of this evening's newscast. I am Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Coming up next is the National Outlook with GHK Lal.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and